to back. Guess who's back and back at it? Just good times from way back. We're back laughing. Back to the action. Back to back with a passion.
It's so funny. People think they really know my story. That just makes me want to prove them wrong even more.
Knock on that door. It's a family affair and I'm very aware. There's no place like home and we back like.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Jalen Benjamin, and thank you for just clicking on this video. That means so much for me, to me, and if you're here because I sent you here, thank you for coming, because that means even more, because that means you really are a friend or family, and you're just checking in and trying to support me any way you can, and I really appreciate that. This has definitely been a journey with me actually getting to this point of actually sitting down, recording this video, and getting here to you guys. I feel like overall in my life, it's been a lot of things that's happened that has always stopped me from getting here. Or I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say stop. I'm going to say that I let get in my way of getting here, because that's ultimately what happened. But this is a new journey. It's a new chapter. It's a new era for me. It's a jam filtered era, as I like to call it. And that means that this is my time to shine, ultimately. Like, this is my time to live up my dreams and actually execute them, because that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna execute. And you know, with starting YouTube, I already have a podcast. Go check it out, Unfiltered and Real, and also my other one, Everything J. But starting YouTube is such a different world, but also a world that I've been wanting to get into for, believe it or not, maybe 5-6 years, like now. Like, it's been a while, but it's been a roller coaster. And today I want to really, you know, for my first video, explain to you guys, you know, how I got here and stuff like that. So basically, dang, I'm not gonna get emotional doing this, but basically, my sophomore year of high school, like, I can go back to that and like remember that like very vividly. Like, it was so much fun, lived it up. And that year, everybody was like, Jalen, start a YouTube channel, and I'm like, I'm gonna start I'm going to do it. And everybody was like, no, for real. And so like, I had made a whole trailer, like, no, subscribe, all this stuff. I don't know what happened to that YouTube channel. I actually think it's my like personal YouTube channel now, like, that I watch videos on. Like, yeah, because I think if I go on and I can still see like the trailer and stuff I made like that, it was like, whew, that Jalen is not the same Jalen as today. But anyways, it was just a great time. And I had just won class president for the following school year. Like, this is towards like the end of junior year. So like, follow along. I'm sorry, I didn't even tell y'all this was a story time. I'm all over the place, but oh, this is the story time. So yeah, so I was like at that, I'm sorry. Oh no, I thought something was on me. Cause like, anyways, we're gonna get back to it. So this is like, I just won junior class president. Like, we had like a couple of weeks left until it was summer, and then we're going into junior year. So I was like, okay, you know, I'm ready for this. Like, let's get it. Like, I'm gonna really do this YouTube, and I'm gonna start at junior year, like a fresh start, all that. Junior year came, and the first like week or two was good. Like, that third week is like when I remember turning into the darkest, saddest person on the inside, and nobody knew what I was going through. You know, nobody understood that about me. So basically what happened was, it was a group chat basically. And so somebody had said something, blah, 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 and then somebody was mad at me. And so I sent it in a group chat with me and my cousins. And I was like, look at this, like, tell them that this isn't what happened. Like, tell them like what we were actually saying. And so like, she was like, yeah, that's what, like, he's telling the truth. But then in that process, they seen in the group chat that the people were talking about us in, and basically saying what we were saying about our other cousin. And so my cousin got amped up, and she got ready to fight, and she was ready to go. And by that point, it was no stopping, like legit no stopping. So she came out to the school that day, got in fought somebody, beat some people. I was about to say the other word, but I forgot to shoot too, but I want to keep this friendly as possible. But anyways, so that's what happened. And then I just seemed like my world coming down right in front of my face. Like, people were mad at me. People felt like it was my fault and all this, and then like other than that, like I lost friends. Like it was a whole lot of stuff that was going on and stuff I couldn't really comprehend on that time. And looking back now, it's like childish. Like people would even like stop talking to me or something like that. But like everybody has their reasons, and in that time place, it was like when you go from having everything to literally having everything took away from you, and it was like I felt so alone in such a big world, and I felt so alone when I had everybody, possible by my side. So like that was the craziest thing. It's like I wasn't alone. I had people by my side, and I still, felt like I was alone, and that really, triggered that depression side of me, that darkness in me. And for the longest time possible, I couldn't understand why I was like that. And, I just kept on going on the rest of the year, being dark, being sad. And I remember this was probably around like January, February time. And this was the time that also this year my best friend at the time had transferred to my school. And so it was really different because although we were best friends and we went to middle school together, going to high school, I don't think we understood how much we had changed and how much we actually grew apart. But not grow apart. I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that for a reason. But excuse me, we are basically different. And so in that time frame of basically that was September, I was at the beginning of the story. So now January, February, like I was realizing like, dang, like I didn't even like have nobody, like even my best friend, like I didn't feel close or connected to her at all anymore. Like I felt alone. And I remember it was February, a couple of days before Valentine's Day. I know this for exact, I don't know the exact date, but I know it's a couple of days for Valentine's Day, and I got home and just remembered I want to end my life. Like I don't want to be here anymore. Like I don't feel like I should be here. And it wasn't because like I didn't have anybody to talk to. Like it was because how do you go from having everything to having nothing? Like yeah, I still have people, like I still have friends, like I have my family, but it was like it's such a culture shock. It was like almost like it was like a culture shock to me. It was like, dang, like take me from living in this type of world, this type of society, and throwing me into a whole nother one. It was like, well, this is damn sure not for me. And it was hard for me. And it was hard for me to, adjust to that. And I think that's the thing. Instead of adjusting, I turned to other matters and trying to hurt myself and trying to kill myself. And I'm being like honest with you because this is the truth of the matter, is that then I started reading and I started looking more, and then the thing is I found out that I was depressed. And it didn't stop there because like now I'm trying to understand, because like even though I knew I was depressed, I still couldn't control my emotions. I still couldn't control how I was feeling. I still couldn't control like Jalen, this isn't like you just going through a depressed stage right now. Like you have to, I still couldn't, I wasn't strong enough yet. And I did research, and I was talking to a therapist at the time, and I was working and I had some money, and she wasn't even charging or nothing like that. But like I was prepared. Like I was setting stuff aside, like taking money out. Like when I got paid, like I was prepared for this. But it wasn't like that. And so she didn't want money. She just wanted to talk to me and understand like what I was going through and honestly help me out. And she was retired, but she lived at the retirement home that I was working at. And so, we were talking, and she was helping me really understand and come to terms with who I am. And she was like, when it's time, you'll be ready to shine. When it's time, you will be ready to take on the world. When it's time, you will know that you can basically live out your dreams. And so for the longest, I didn't understand that, And so we helped each other, and she helped me, and I got better, and like I understood, and like I was good. And then senior year came, and basically some things happened to me then, and it was like hard, and I'm like, oh Jesus, like I don't want to go through this again. Like and I wasn't working at the same place, so it was like I couldn't really, do anything about it. like I couldn't go see her. Like I could have went and seen her, but like the way I left that place, like I don't want to go back. But I knew then, like, I need help. And it's just so funny because one of my closest friends, I call him my brother, he came in my life at a time where like I was going through it bad, and he was the first person to really ever ask me like, how are you doing? Like, what are you going through? Like, how is your life going? And like, so when I finally had that person to talk to, it felt amazing. It felt good to get it off my shoulders. And honestly, there was a couple times in my senior year when I was ready to give up, but he was there and he pulled me out of that darkness, and he basically reminded me what, you know, my worth is in life, and that no matter what, like, you know, there are people on this earth that do care about me, and that do support me, and that really want to see me thrive. And I still was like, okay, you know, I'm still going through the motions of like acting like everything was okay and just moving on, and that was that, and it's gonna be whatever it's gonna be. And then I went to college, and it was like, now at this point, I'm a freshman in college. I have the world at my feet. Like, this is party central. Have fun. And I went to college, and at the first half, I really didn't enjoy it because I had some, you know, things with the police going on, and some like I'm not a bad kid. I wasn't in any trouble, but like I had like an incident where it could have been police brutality. Like, and it was very scary, and I'm gonna tell you guys that's a whole nother story time. But so I had stuff like that, and then like my best friend now, she, you know, she wasn't feeling it, and I was trying to be so supportive and understanding for her. And throughout all of that and what was going on, I wasn't really taking care of myself, and before I knew it, I had another slip. And it was actually when I was home doing Christmas and Christmas break, and I was like, dang, like, I don't know what to do. Like, this is it. I'm ready to go. Like, I'm so not happy in life. And I was still smiling, and everybody thought I was smiling, but like I wasn't happy. And so what I did finally was accept that I was never gonna be happy in terms. Like that's what I had thought. Like, I was never gonna be happy. Like, this is my time. Let's go. It's done with. And then I was scrolling down Instagram, like literally listening to sad music, crying, scrolling down Instagram, and I came across a podcast. I forgot what podcast it was. And like they were just talking, and they were so funny, and like they were talking about like what they go through and stuff like that. And then I was like, I want to do that. Like, because I've always wanted to be a radio show host. But I never thought about like doing a podcast. Actually, my teacher in high school, she was like, oh, you should start a podcast. She told me that before, and I was like, oh yeah, okay, yeah. Never thought much into it. And like, here I am all these years later with an actual podcast. But so I was looking at these people, and I'm like, dang, that's cool, I should do it. So that happened, and I was like, I should do it, but I never really thought much more into it. Like a month later, I was at school, and I was sick. This week was a bad week. Like, I was really sick. But then, like, I remember it was something going on with, like, the LGBTQ community, black community, women's, like, there was a lot going on. And this was, like, around, like, February time. So this was, like, right as, you know, Corona was starting, but it wasn't really that like, people weren't really, we were just starting to talk about it here in the U.S. So I was talking about that on my Instagram story, and somebody swiped up, and they're like, you're really, like, what you say is really positive. Like, you really just caught my attention. You hooked me. You even changed my way of thinking a little bit on certain situations. Like, you are very smart. I would like to give you a podcast. And I was like, what? Now, this happened February time. My podcast aired on April 17th. That was the premiere day of my podcast. So from February, March, those 2 months was like sitting in meetings and trying to think of ideas and how we were going to start the podcast. I'm sorry, I'm looking out because they're building a house right next to me, and I'm like, I don't know. But anyways, I was like, how am I going to do this? Like, what am I going to do? Like, you know, how? So we were meeting, and we were talking about things and ideas and names and all this and the concept and what are you going to do? What are you going to talk about? Like, all that we were doing. And I didn't tell anybody. And I was like, I'm not going to tell. Like, if I can succeed with this and pull this off, that'll be the best thing ever. I remember the day that I told my best friend that I was doing a podcast. Like, it was just me and her in my dorm. And, like, for some reason, like, I felt like, you know, she was proud of me. Like, yes, this is you. Like, I know she was proud of me. And I think even to this day, she's still proud of me. But, like, at that time, I was thinking, like, dang, like, this is a girl that I have so much respect for. And even now, with everything we have got going on, and it's for a different day. But, like, it's like, this is somebody I have so much respect for. And I have the utmost, love for when it comes to, like, do you approve of what I'm doing? And it's like, we come from two different worlds. Like, I come from a world of having all the friends, and not saying that she didn't, or like, it was just like, she was a very, like, not loner, but like, she had her group of friends, and they were just very, we come from two different worlds. And us coming together was always magical at the beginning, and that's what I loved. And that moment when she was just so proud of me, and the look in her eye just, like, brought so much joy into my life, because I was like, dang, I finally did something in my life that, you know, people are going to be proud of. And her just, you know, being there for me in that moment and being so happy for me, it just made me even more happy for the journey that was at hand. And I was ready to take on anything. You know, then I told my mother and announced it on Instagram, and the love I was getting from everybody, it was just so, like, so wholesome. Like, even after I graduated, and still have people that I hadn't talked to in that whole school year, and they were still, you know, ready to listen to me, give me love and support me. And that's something that you can't just go out on the street and get. Like, you have to build those connections. You have to build that community. You have to build that love. And without me even knowing it, you know, I had built that. And throughout the whole time of me being depressed and wanting to end my life, and my brother Chris telling me, you know, there are people, I didn't believe it, but then for the first time, I seen that there was people and they were rooting for me, and that was the best thing ever. And ever since then, my podcast has literally been a success. Still has so much more to go, but it's been a success. And that was my first indicator that this is what I want to do. Like, I want to be in the social media field. Like, I want to talk. I want to give advice to people. I want to tell people my stories. I want to talk to them and see what they go through. Like, I honestly 100% want to understand why we are how we are and how we can make ourselves better. And that's the beautiful thing about life. It's the ultimate beautiful thing about life. It is. And then a couple months later, after I, you know, put out my podcast and all this, we're now like in October time of this year, of 2020. And I'm like, you know, my next step is doing what I've always said I was going to do. And that was start a YouTube channel. And I'm going to do that. You know, throughout the time with everything that's happened with the end of 2020 and beginning of 2021, like, there was so much going on. My podcast was taking off. I was trying to focus on school. I had just got a job and started working on a documentary that's coming out, and I'm very happy for you guys to see also. But with all that there, it was like, dang, like, I forgot about the YouTube channel. And then, like, a month or two ago, I just started, like, planning, and I'm like, okay, this is how I'm gonna jump into YouTube. This is how I'm gonna walk into space. You know, my YouTube channel is gonna be filled of so many different things. Day in my lives, challenges, sit down videos, story times. Because one thing I learned throughout being a watcher of YouTube, now being a YouTuber, like the study of it, getting ready to prepare to come out, being a podcast host, just being a person in America, is that we learn by watching. We learn by taking advice. We learn by watching somebody else do it, fail, and trying again. That's how we do it. We learn by talking. We need human connection, if one thing we learned during this pandemic. And that's what I'm on here for. That's why I joined YouTube. And I don't want that to ever get lost, because one thing I can promise you, and this is my motto, and I've told everybody this in everything they get in, and I even told my best friend this, you know, when she first started on YouTube, is that no matter if you have 1 subscriber or you have 1 million subscribers, you give your all to each and every subscriber that you have. It doesn't matter just because you have one. Guess what? You still go out there, you still make a hit video, you still put your all into it, and you still leave them wanting more. My story, this is just not even a half a blink of it. Like, I have so much more to tell, and whether that's a day in my life, you guys just seeing what I do in a day, or sit down video, story time, challenges, mukbang, no matter what it is, I want you guys to know that Jalen Benjamin is here, and this is the start of a new era. Everybody needs to get ready because the Jay Unfiltered era is here, and I'm so happy. And I just want to thank you guys so much for just sitting here and listening at this video and hearing my story and seeing how I was very depressed, and every day I still do fight depression. I don't want you guys to think that it's just over with. No, I do fight it every day, and there are times that I still go through it. But guess what? I found the light, and I found the spark inside of me, and nothing can take that away from me. Nothing in this world. So that's what you have to do. And if you guys want more videos like me talking about this, I will without a doubt do it, hands down, because I love sharing my story, and I love you guys when we get to interact and stuff like that. So make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram at JayUnfiltered. Make sure you comment down below if different video ideas that you guys would like to see. And once again, just thank you guys for watching this video. Please subscribe. I have so many more things on the way, and I don't care if it's just 5 or 10 of you guys. I'm going to give my all to you 5 or 10. So subscribe and just wait to see what's coming. So without further ado, I love you guys, and yeah, we're out.
Been gone for a while, now we're back home. Took our time, got it right now, we're back home.